All right, let's catch you up with what is going on at that tribunal. Mbenenge's cross-examination started a short while ago, but the proceedings have now been adjourned for the day. Newzroom Afrika's Linda Mnisi joining us live from Sandton, the venue of the tribunal. Linda, good evening to you. And where did the tribunal leave things for this evening? Where do they pick up from tomorrow?
Well, quite interesting, Oli, because this cross-examination started right after 4 o'clock this afternoon. And you'd know that previously there were discussions about it, or the proceedings ending at 4:30, but today we were informed that the proceedings would be extended, excuse me, to 6 o'clock. But of course, we had to adjourn early because, of course, it has been a long day. But quite an interesting cross-examination from the start of it. One of the notable things is the manner in which, the JP is sitting in that chair, witness chair, his demeanor really, and seemingly hitting back with questions when being asked to answer certain questions which relate to his position, because he is, again, a senior member of that particular division, or he is the most senior judge in that particular division. But also, one of the questions that he was asked was what exactly it is that he wanted from Andiswa Mengo. And he again repeats that he wanted a romantic relationship, and that at this particular point it was still at a flirtatious stage. And the evidence leader asking him about the first instance, the first interactions with her, when did this interest spark? And he indicates that, the first time it was, in the offices when he had gone to speak to the judge, in which Andiswa Mengo was the secretary too, but he had also seen her around interacting with other secretaries. And, so again, going back to the questions around the workplace environment and whether or not these kind of, advances are wanted in the workplace. But, he goes on to say, he cannot really put a method to why interest was sparked on Andiswa Mengo, but also that there isn't really a rule in terms of how to, to spark an interest in a person. And the evidence leader putting it to him that he wanted a sexual relationship, which then prompted the following questions around him being a married man already. So it cannot be that he wanted a romantic relationship. And he simply said that question is not relevant to the proceedings today. He was not here to discuss his marital status. But of course, the evidence leader coming back to say, well, I mean, you say you wanted to pursue a romantic relationship. So I put it to you, the only thing that you wanted from her is a sexual relationship. And again, he says the relationship was still at a flirtatious stage with the hopes that it would develop into a romantic relationship. She also asked him about, asking for photographs within the first 30 minutes of their interactions after he met her at those particular chambers, and he wanted to give this elaborate answer around, what led and what he meant, when he asked for those pictures, also citing the fact that he did indicate that if she's comfortable with it, then, she could send those particular pictures. So we ended the proceedings today, Xoli, on that note. The evidence leader asking that we adjourn for the day because, of course, it has been a long day, but the judge taking great exception to this request when he had indicated that the proceedings would adjourn at 6 o'clock this evening, saying that he does not want these proceedings to be like, and I quote, the Senzo Meiwa murder trial, and it would not happen. The agreement was that these proceedings would end at 6, and, they would sit right up until 10 o'clock. We would sit right up until 10 o'clock if the needs be. So he's adjourned, albeit displeased, he's adjourned and allowed for that particular adjournment. The matter will proceed tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Note it is earlier, about 30 minutes earlier than usual start time. I must point out, Oli, that yesterday there was a similar request earlier than expected, about 30 minutes before the adjournment from the respondents. That is the lawyer of Judge Mbenenge to adjourn the proceedings early. And it was simply granted, but it seems today the chairperson really wanting to put his foot down on these requests. So come 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, these proceedings will then get underway.
Linda Mnisi live for us in Sandton. Thank you very much for that update.